Hello and welcome to UK Crime Caught on Camera. I'm Rich and I'll be your guide through all the footage you're about to see. Coming up on this week's show, robbers plunder 300 grand worth of gold in Ramray daylight heist. And a police officer gets attacked by a drug dealer using his own PAVA spray against him. Robbers nick 300 grand worth of gold in Ramray heist. This footage shows robbers ram raiding a jeweller's in broad daylight. In total, they made off with 300 grand worth of gold in 70 seconds. The robbery was carried out in front of shoppers in March last year. Those involved are John Gurley, Trevor Week, Justin Boylan, Arfan Latif and Hassan Sufil Kar. The video shows them reverse a stolen pickup truck into the store around midday. Three men burst into the shop. One uses a sledgehammer to smash the glass display cabinets. He then fills his sports bags with loot. They fled the scene with around 5 kilos worth of 22 carat gold jewellery. A fourth man remained in the car, while the fifth acted as crowd control. He did this by waving an axe at witnesses before they fled. The gang then dumped the getaway car in a residential street and switched vehicles, but they were caught by police days later. The five were found guilty of conspiracy to rob and possessing an offensive weapon. They are to be sentenced in March 2023. Drug dealer attacks officer with PAVA spray. Next, we're in Cambridge in September 2021. This bodycam footage shows a drug dealer trying to evade arrest. And to make matters worse, he gets violent with a police officer. The assailant repeatedly punches the police officer. He then incapacitates him with the officer's own PAVA spray. Before all that, Shaksawan Becker was chased through the streets on foot. In pursuit were officers who suspected he was involved in drug dealing. But after they caught up with him, Becker held one down and punched him. He then took the officer's PAVA spray and sprayed it in his eyes. It all kicked off when police had stopped a red car which Becker was a passenger in. Becker fled and was chased by another officer.
Police officer, take it down! Stay there!
He can be seen throwing a package away. Here that is again. What Becker threw was later confirmed to be up to £12,300 worth of cocaine. The officer and Becker scuffled, but the officer managed to call for backup by pressing the emergency assistant button on his police radio. Despite the officer using his PAVA, Becker repeatedly punched the officer in the face. He also attempted to grab hold of his taser, but was unsuccessful. So he grabbed the PAVA and sprayed it directly in the officer's eyes. Officers came to the downed officer's aid and detained Becker. They also recovered the package he threw away.
Get off it! You're next for assault, please! Roll over now! VB, there's one just turn around and get him in the car! He's in a red Audi!
You okay? You okay? Good, sir.
You're nicked for assault, please. Do not have to say anything, but it may on your defence. You do not mention, when questioned, something which you may rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. VB, ambulance, please. PC.
A further package containing up to about £2,500 worth of cocaine was found in the red car. Authorities also found boxes of illegal cigarettes, resulting in the driver's arrest. Becker admitted possession with intent to supply cocaine, assault with intent to resist arrest, possession of an offensive weapon, and possession of cannabis. He was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. The driver, Soran Abdullah, was handed a 2-year conditional discharge and must pay £1,000 in costs. He admitted 2 counts of possession of cocaine and acquiring criminal property, namely a large quantity of cigarettes on which duty had not been paid.
Anybody else be seen?
Stolen van thieves ram police vehicle. This shocking dashcam footage shows the moment one police car was deliberately rammed by a stolen van. Luckily, the 2 officers inside were not seriously injured. The vehicle, however, was not so lucky. It was damaged beyond repair. Robber Wingate and Dimantas Palema caused more than £100,000 worth of damage to 4 police vehicles in a December 2021 pursuit along the M1. They even live-streamed the carnage they caused. As the stolen van approached Junction 37, it hit a stinger device and was finally brought to a stop on the hard shoulder. The pair were arrested and numerous items of stolen kitchen equipment were found in the back of the van. Wingate pled guilty to handling stolen goods, aggravated vehicle taking, 2 charges of assault causing actual bodily harm, and 4 of criminal damage. Wingate was jailed for 3 years and 9 months. He was also banned from driving for 3 years and 3 months. His sentence will start at the conclusion of the current sentence he is serving. Palema pled guilty to handling stolen goods, aggravated vehicle taking, 2 charges of assault causing actual bodily harm, and 1 count of criminal damage. He was locked up for 25 months and was banned from driving for 25 months. Nuisance pensioner caller jailed. And just to give you forewarning, what you're about to hear is laden with insults and explicit and abusive language. Next, we come to something a bit different. A nuisance pensioner who made more than 7,000 abusive calls to police and ambulance workers in under 3 years has been jailed. 77-year-old Roger Jackson was sentenced to a 39-month prison term after pleading guilty to making the nuisance calls at Lewis Crown Court last month.
Hello, you're through to Sussex Police. How can I help?
Do you know what? I've had a wireless phone down now. It's all exposed. I'm a priority, about the 5th in the pecking order. You're letting people die like flies. There's too many people. There's 93,000 people. Shut up, you.
Stop talking, what? Stop being abusive.
And they said, you have to help people on their own who's got COVID.
Stop talking at me like that.
I told you that to start. I told that little idiot this morning. You've got an apology? Shut your mouth.
Right, I'm ending the call.
Yeah.
Drug driver speeds at 65 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour zone. Now we come to East Sussex, where a driver high on weed and coke is speeding the wrong way at 65 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour zone. Officers tried to flag down Greg Marshall for being untaxed, but he sped off. Despite crashing into a traffic island, Marshall continued to drive away with only 3 wheels. Luckily, Marshall didn't cause any serious harm to himself or anyone else. He also attempted to flee on foot, but was quickly stopped and arrested. He appeared before Lewis Crown Court and admitted to driving dangerously and failing to stop when directed by a police officer. He also admitted to drug driving, driving without valid insurance, and driving otherwise in accordance with a licence. Marshall pled guilty to 2 counts of possession of a Class B drug after he was found in possession of cannabis and amphetamine. He was sentenced to 14 months in prison and has been disqualified from driving for 3 years and 7 months. Teens try to steal judge's motorbike. Next, we're in London, where 2 teenagers who tried stealing a judge's £15,000 motorbike from a court car park were jailed. The 2 youths rode into the grounds of Snaresbrook Crown Court on moped at around 2 in the afternoon in April 2021. Shea Hollis, 18, and DeAndre Rogers Barrett, 19, came across the judge's motorbike along with another accomplice who remains at large. They began to wheel the BMW bike away, but were challenged by a member of security who Hollis threatened with a machete. The guard fled inside the building. The duo then began pushing the motorbike away from the courthouse. But security at the court in East London quickly shut the gates, leaving them trapped inside. This forced them to dump the bike and leave their own mopeds, helmets, angle grinder and a machete and climb over the fence, fleeing on foot. Police later tracked them down and arrested them in May 2021. In December 2022, Roger Barrett was sentenced to 21 months imprisonment, suspended for 18 months. He was ordered to complete 25 days rehabilitation activity and was given a 3-month curfew monitored by electric tag. He was also ordered to pay £500 compensation to the victim. He had previously pled guilty to robbery and not guilty to affray. Hollis from Harrow Drive in Enfield was sentenced to an 18-month supervision order. He was ordered to carry out 12 hours of unpaid work and to pay £500 compensation to the victim. He had pled guilty to robbery, criminal damage, threatening a person in a public place with an offensive weapon and affray. Well, that's that for this week. Wherever you've been watching, please drop us a like, share the video around, and follow or subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Rich for National World, signing off.